Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin is appropriately wearing red because, Colin, this is an emergency podcast. It is Tuesday, August 22nd,
Yeah.
1:30 p.m. And about an hour or so ago, Eric Morris talked to the media, and he said that Stone Earle would be going out first in the Cal game. He will get the starting job. But then he says Chandler Rogers will also get his opportunity, whether that is in the game or as the season. He said, he's going to get his opportunity. He didn't do anything wrong, but Stone Earle is the de facto starter now, as we sit here about 10 days, 11 days from kickoff. Colin, how do you feel?
I think the thing that made it crazy to me, and you already said it, is that he said we will see Chandler Rogers. And when I hear that we will see Chandler Rogers, to me, that means that he wasn't able to take the job from Stone Earle, and Stone Earle just was the baseline. Like when I hear that, you know what I mean? Like if Stone Earle truly won the job, I don't think we should see Chandler Rogers. Yeah, if you want to do like a wildcat, but I don't think this should be like a rotating carousel of quarterbacks. And he said that he's like, I'm not a guy that likes to swap them in and out, but they both deserve to be out there. And hey, we said it last time, if you got two quarterbacks, you don't got one quarterback. So I don't like that there's not a definitive in his answers, I should say. There's not a definitive winner. There wasn't like oh yeah, this guy is clearly better. It's he's going to roll out there with the ones first, and then we're going to roll out Chandler Rogers at some point, and you will see him.
And this is why I said I would be shocked if it wasn't Chandler Rogers, because is clear, and Eric Moore said it today, is like Stone Earle came into fall camp as the third quarterback.
Behind Jace.
Behind Jace Ruder as well.
Yep.
The third quarterback. And we have been in fall camp now for 3 weeks. And over the past 3 weeks, Stone Earle has done enough to usurp, right? That's the word I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
yeah.
Usurp Jace Ruder and Chandler Rogers in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows, and even after fall camp, apparently, this coaching staff and Eric Morris knew that Chandler Rogers was the one that they wanted to win this job.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And then it was like, okay, maybe if Jace Ruder can come around, maybe we get Jace Ruder, right? Neither one of them wins the job, and it's Stone Earle. And it's not even Stone Earle confidently, like you said.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's not like,
Yeah.
all right, Stone Earle's our guy. He won the job. Let's wipe our hands with it, be done. It's like, well, it's Stone Earle to start the game.
Yeah.
And that's a bigger concern than it just being Stone Earle. Like Stone Earle, again, Eric Moore said in his press conference, it was like, last year he was just a wildcat guy, and he just ran a lot and stuff like that. But this year he's got a lot better as a passer. That's great. But you're still not confident enough in him to say he's the starter from week one. Like, and he's gonna have to like lose the job basically. Like
Right.
he's gonna have to come out and throw 4 picks for you to take him out. Like that's not what you're saying here.
Yeah.
And that's the bigger concern, is that it still feels like it's ongoing, and it feels a lot like Austin Aune and Jason Bean from 2020.
Yeah, and it's weird because I haven't seen Stone Earle really. I mean, since Wildcat Boise State, but
we haven't seen any.
That's what I mean. But I'm saying like we haven't seen him throughout fall camp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just using it as a disclaimer. Like with Jason Bean, we knew like he could make plays, and he's also not just on Wildcat. We knew Austin Aune was the guy that was going to do the long ball and throw.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah,
real quick.
Ask
North Texas in a worse position now at quarterback than they were in 2020?
Oh yeah.
Would you rather have Austin Aune and Jason Bean right now?
In the context of what was said today, yes, because the way it was said, I just didn't like it. I did not like the "we will see." We will see Chandler Rogers. He didn't do anything wrong. Well, that just tells me that Stone Earle didn't do enough, and Chandler Rogers didn't do enough to show them that
nobody's doing enough here.
No one's doing enough. And the fact that Stone Earle is 1A right now means that Chandler Rogers really didn't do enough. And I don't know if and then we go back to the question of, is that an indictment on him, Chandler Rogers, or is it an indictment on the coaching staff? And I'm not trying to like throw blame right now or say one or the other, but that's a question you have to think about, because we have all the success with Eric Morris in the past with quarterbacks, and we're like, oh yeah, Chandler Rogers, that's the guy. That's him. He is him. He's going to be number one. And then now you come into it and you're like, we're kind of in the same position we were not last year, but we didn't have a quarterback that we were like last year. Year before that, didn't really have a quarterback we like. Then you had the Jason Bean thing. We had Jace Reuter. We had Amani Gilmore. After Mason Fine, we are still in that
Yeah,
same position. We still do not have one. It's just 1A, 1B.
one.
And I'm getting tired of that.
Yeah, the one was Austinani last year, obviously, and we knew obviously his limitations, but more so the limitations of the coaching staff with Seth Luttrell and who
Right.
Flesh and all them, and they just couldn't manufacture. The whatever you want to say, why they couldn't manufacture passing yards or passing success is up for debate. But now, like we've said before, it's like now you have the coach that is literally his. He is an air raid guy. He's a pass first guy, Mike Leach disciple.
Mm-hmm.
And now we shouldn't be having that problem. And there is a world in which Stone Earle comes out and is very, very good. I
Yeah.
haven't put that
Yeah.
past them
Yeah.
us because it, like I said before, it might just be Eric Morris is such a damn good passing like coach and schematics guy and everything that doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Now I say that, but his last quarterbacks, if you go back to even Texas Tech, where he had obviously very good quarterbacks even outside of Patrick Mahomes, but then Incarnate Word, he had. We talked about his development there, but also he had a very good quarterback, and then he goes over to Washington State, good quarterback. Like he's really having to start from the ground up with this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of the unsettling part is where you wish you would just pick one. And everybody in the world going into August said it was going to be Chandler Rogers.
Everybody.
And it's not Chandler Rogers.
Yeah.
And that's to me, as much as again, I want to give Eric Morris the benefit of the doubt and say, he's a quarterbacks guy, he's a pass game guy, he's all this stuff. They're gonna have a fine passing attack. If Chandler Rogers can't win that job and your third string 2-3 weeks ago is now your starter, it just doesn't quite sit right for
Does
me.
not
Like
sit right.
imagine if SMU said that. We'd be over here
Yeah.
laughing. We'd be laughing at them. If UTSA did that, we'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
your third string is now your quarterback. Like
Yeah.
it's just it doesn't sit right with me, and I'm still open to it working, but at the end of the day, it's not a great start. It's not a
It,
great situation to be in.
for me, it was the way it was said. Or do you hold the same sentiment, or is it just the fact
I
that
agree.
Stone Earle was okay? Because I feel like if Eric Morris came out was like, this is our guy. He just wanted out.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
that's it. Then I'd be here, be like, all right, Stone Earle, let's ride the train.
Yeah.
But I did not like you will see Chandler Rogers this year. They both deserve to be out there.
Because it's not even to me, it's not even like a Stoner looking over his back type thing. It's more of a we don't think either one of these guys is good enough. And I said it last
Yeah. Yeah.
podcast
Yep.
in the clip. I was like, I hate to break it to y'all, North Texas does not have two of the top 7, 8, 9 quarterbacks in the American. So right now, I'm feeling like their quarterback situation is outside of like the top 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
and that's in under a head coach where he's a pass first air raid guy.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
not great. It's not great to have a quarterback problem, and I don't want to say a problem. Problem is probably too strong of a word, but I mean that's what I'm going to call it right now. Is a quarterback situation where this offense is built around the pass game.
What are you going into Cal? Obviously, that's coming
Dude,
right up. We
yeah.
got 11 days. I guess what do you want to see from Stone Earle? Because we're not going to make the whole next podcast about Stone Earle, so this is his time.
Well, I think starting with the offense overall, they're going to have to run the ball a good
Yeah.
amount. Like you have to run the ball. I know it's going to be air raid, but this offense is predicated and has the personnel to run the football right now, especially
Yeah.
with Stone Earle at
Yeah.
quarterback. Like the offensive line, we talked to Gabe Blair. He was like, I'm still learning how to pass protect and all that
Yeah.
stuff because they've been running the ball the past 3 years. Like that's all they've been doing. So I think he's gonna have to come out and run the ball against Cal, who obviously has athletes to stop them, and then you kind of pass off of that. Like Stone Earle is gonna have to be able to make those shot plays that maybe Austinani tried making last year. We'll see. The schematics of the offense are just going to be so different
Yeah.
from what we're used to. That's really what I'm interested in seeing. And so, does Stone Earle become more of a pocket guy? Do they have designed runs for Stone Earle? Does he read option type stuff? Does he quarterback power him? I don't know how they're going to use Stone Earle, but I think a part of it has to be his legs and his willingness to run. Like I
Yeah.
can't see it just be his passing
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah. I'm looking for me again, looking out for that. And then also because we've heard it multiple times, is his accuracy. Apparently, his accuracy has been really, really, really good. So if I don't
And
see
I don't
that,
know how he's more accurate than Chandler Rogers.
and that's what I mean.
Okay.
So we better see something. Like it better be high 60s, mid something, mid 60s at least, because otherwise it's going to be. It's just so hard to believe that Stone Earle beat out a guy who should have been the guy. You
Like
know?
was in, and I don't want to say, I don't want to put words in people's mouth, but when you see a quarterback transfer over like this, 80% of the time there is a either silent agreement or a straight out agreement, be like, all right, you're gonna be the guy. Like we're gonna say you're competing for the job, but like, come on, you're gonna be the guy. Like you go down countless lists of transfer quarterbacks, of high level transfer quarterbacks going from one starting job to another school. Like UL, he was starting at ULM, he goes to North Texas. 80% of the time, I want to say, it's like this guy is going to be the starter.
Yeah.
We are now in the 20% or less, probably, but 20%
Yeah.
where like it's not going to happen. Like Graham Mertz, like Sam Hartman goes over there. The only one I can think of that's not or might not win is like Spencer Sanders going from Oklahoma State to Ole Miss. He might not win the job over, but like again, that's like such an outlier at this point.
Right.
I can. There's so many
Not
quarterbacks,
only
and
that,
so
Chandler Rogers coming to a team where Stone Earle was the third quarterback,
yes,
or I guess
and
some
and
might say
it's not
second, but
even. It's not even
regardless,
again. And after spring and summer, it was still Chandler Rogers.
yeah,
Like it was literally over the past 3 weeks, from what Eric
yeah,
Morris has said. It was over the past 3 weeks where Stoner went out,
yeah,
and that's unbelievable,
yeah.
unbelievable. Anything else? Does this change at all how you perceive the season? We haven't done our season. We'll do it on Friday, our season predictions. But does this change how your outlook for the season?
In terms of like wins losses,
Ceiling, yeah, wins, losses, ceiling, all that stuff.
um,
Because it does for me.
I'm gonna say no, but I was always the pessimist between the two of us in terms of how the season would go.
Yeah.
Um, I think that it was going to be a tough transition to the American regardless, but it does change how it looks, right? I didn't think it would be something that like now in my mind, I guess it would be an offensive thing because clearly there's going to be some type of quarterback struggle. I don't know unless one just all of a sudden lifts off
Yeah.
and it's great. But I
Yeah.
thought it would be more of a defensive problem in the American, whereas now it seems like it could be a defensive problem, but now it's definitely there's going to be some offensive hiccups. You know, we were coming to this Cal game thinking they're gonna be more buttoned up than Cal.
Mhm.
Well, now it's like, well, we don't even know who the quarterback really is, and I don't know how early we're going to see Chandler Rogers. Is it going to be this game? Is it going to be game 2? Is it going to be first quarter, second quarter? Like, there are a lot of questions that have to be asked. Like, what is this predicated on? Like, if
Yeah.
Stoner lights it up, are we still going to see Chandler Rogers? So
Yeah, it definitely changes the outlook to me because I went into this month and like season preparation saying, all right, they're set at quarterback. They have a fine receiving core and they have a great offensive head coach.
yeah,
Like that's fine.
yeah,
And again, the offense could still be really good, but there's so many more question marks now. There's so much more we have to see in the
yeah,
first month of the season. And you start the season with Cal, which in theory should be a winnable game. But now I'm like, now you have as many question marks as Cal
yep,
at
yep,
quarterback. Like they don't know their quarterback. Now you don't know your quarterback. So nobody
yeah.
knows their quarterbacks and they have more talent. So
Here's what I will say is I will give Eric Morris the benefit of the doubt for game 1 only
yes.
because I don't want to project the PTSD I have from the Seth Luttrell era with quarterbacks. So I will give
Yeah, I
him
agree.
the benefit of the doubt until game 1. If game 1 is just an absolute dumpster fire, I don't care how it goes. If it just looks like if Stone Earle comes out there and he just looks like a lost puppy, there's gonna be some problems. There's gonna be some problems.
Yeah, that's it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. I think we've covered it well. I want to keep this about 15 minutes, so we're right on the dot. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the news. Stone
Mhm.
Earle, quarterback one. Chandler
1A.
Rogers, quarterback 1A or 1B, I
Mhm.
guess. Yeah, let us know what you think. Leave us a like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Green Room UNT, and we will be back on Friday with our season predictions.